Plan schedule management is the process of establishing the policies, procedures, and documentation for planning, developing, managing, executing, and controlling the project schedule. The output from this process, the schedule management plan, will provide guidance and direction on how the project schedule will be managed throughout the entire project lifecycle. We'll be using data analysis, specifically alternatives analysis within this process, as we attempt to choose the appropriate option to help estimate, develop, and manage the schedule. We may use one or more scheduling methodologies within the project. We have to select a scheduling tool and technique, our estimating tools, formats, and project management software. We also have to go ahead and find an appropriate balance between the level of detail that we desire for our schedule and the time it takes to maintain the schedule. If we have a schedule of several thousand activities, it could be prohibitively expensive in terms of effort and amount of time consumed trying to get granular levels of detail updated on a regular basis. Is it truly necessary to know if we are 47% completed a single activity, or can we simply say it started? It will depend on the specific needs of our stakeholders, what type of information they require, and at what frequency. However, we do have to take it into consideration now as we develop our plan, which we will be abiding by for the remainder of the project unless we decide to change it later through formal change control. The output of this process is the schedule management plan. This is a component of the project management plan. It establishes criteria and the activities for developing, monitoring, and controlling the schedule. It could be formal or informal. It could be highly detailed or broadly framed based on the needs of the project. It could establish, in part, the schedule model development. What scheduling methodology will we be using? In this course, we will be focusing primarily on the critical path method. Release and iteration length would be used depending on the type of life cycle that we select. The level of accuracy is the acceptable range used in determining a realistic activity duration estimate. This could include an amount for contingencies, either as a percentage or as a fixed number. We also need to decide upon units of measure. Will we be doing hours, days, or weeks? Organizational procedure links is how we will tie the schedule to the work breakdown structure. This will allow for consistency with the estimates and resulting schedules. The project schedule model maintenance is the process used to update the status and record progress of the project in the schedule model during the execution of the project. Here, we're simply defining how that will happen. Control thresholds indicate an allowable amount of variance. All projects will have some degree of variance. All we're doing here is saying exactly how much do we allow before some type of action needs to be taken. Now, these thresholds could be expressed as a percentage deviation from parameters, or we could say it's a fixed number. Whatever it is, anytime that we push past the threshold, we would have to submit a corrective action to deliberately realign the project's performance with the baseline. The release and iteration length, if we're using an iterative life cycle, how long will the time box be? Typically between 2 and 4 weeks. And our performance measurement rules, earned value management techniques. Which ones will we use? This will be discussed in far greater depth as part of the control cost process. Plan schedule management, learning assessment. Describe the purpose of this process in your own words. The purpose is to chart a path for developing and maintaining the schedule. What types of things would you include in this plan? Some things to include are allowable deviations, methods of estimating, and preferred schedule compression techniques. Should this plan be detailed or more high level? This plan can be very high level or detailed, depending on the project's needs. Should this plan ever be updated, and if so, when? This plan should be updated as changes occur to how the schedule will be managed. What are some EEFs and OPAs that play into this process? Relevant EEFs include organizational culture, resource availability, and scheduling software, while OPAs include historical information, policies and procedures, and templates.